ProMats initiative. Go wild and welcome this Nicholas Marco. Nicholas, there we go. Look at this jacket. This is magnificent.
Thank you very much, Alan. I appreciate that warm introduction. I will step up to your podium so that I can feel as special as you are. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a celebration after all, isn't it? I wanted to just check the temperature and make sure that it does really feel like a celebration. As introduced, my name is Nicholas Marco. I am with Investec's Corporate Social Investment Division and responsible for the education initiatives. There is a lot in our country of sad stories. Christmas is about sharing good news. And tonight, I thought it would be important for me to share some of the good news with you on a very important day such as this one, which is Christmas. And I'm inspired by the story of a young man who was seen picking up starfish at the beachfront not far from where we are. And this young man, driven by a great sense of compassion and responsibility, picks up starfish that is being washed out of the ocean because of them possibly drying out in the sun. Meanwhile, an old man is watching as this young man is busy picking one starfish at a time, throwing them back into the sea. And an old man approaches him, finally saying, "Young man, I have witnessed you for a couple of hours now, wasting your time, picking up starfish only for many more to be washed out of the sea." And the young man, determined and strong in his conviction, kneels down, looks up to the old man with a strong sense of conviction as he picks one more starfish, throwing it back into the sea, and he says to the old man, "I may not have made a difference in all of the starfish, but to this one, I have made a difference." And so today I want to talk to you about a program that is called ProMats, that Investec has been deeply invested in for 20 years now. A program that acknowledges that yes, we may not be able to solve all of the world's problems. We may not be able to solve and overhaul an education system that is so broken and unfair for our learners who are expected, one, to learn under very difficult circumstances. Learners who are expected to go to school and learn in overcrowded classrooms. Learners who are expected to go and learn and sit in classes without suitably qualified maths and science teachers. Learners who are expected, believe it or not, to go and sit for their final matric examinations without having completed the annual syllabus. That is a reality in this country. But I'm here today to talk to you about a program called ProMats that we remain deeply invested in. A program that says, yes, we acknowledge you may not have the opportunity or the resources, but we will take you and put you in front of suitably qualified and well-vetted teachers in mathematics and science. We're going to put you in smaller classrooms. We're going to provide you with the necessary learning materials that you're going to need to be able to achieve the type of results that are going to enable you to go and fetch your dreams. And what is the result of that investment? The result of that investment happens when a young Lutlolo Mdolo from the dusty streets of a township in Motherwell in the Eastern Cape, who in his own words says, before the picture and the reality of ProMats, I was what you would call an IDC member. IDC being, I don't care, because of the hopelessness of my situation. But thanks to a program called ProMats, today, ladies and gentlemen, the result of that investment, the deep investment, that young man is a medical doctor today. It doesn't end there. That story tells us of a young Unati Bolingwe from the forgotten corners of Umlazi Township in KZN, who today stands as a CA at Investec. That is what it's about. That is the magic that happens when potential and opportunity collide. But it doesn't end there. That story is about a young, inspirational life of a young man from the dusty streets of Soweto who had access to Promet when all else could have been so hopeless. And today that young man, in the name Isaiah Mhlanga, sits as a chief economist for Rand Merchant Bank. You can say that again. What a wow. And Isaiah doesn't stop there. He goes on to become an advisor to the President of this Republic on matters of our economy. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is not charity. That is a return on investment. That is potential realized. And so my word of the night on this beautiful Christmas evening today is this. As you go home tonight, all I want you to remember is this. The magic that happens when potential and opportunity collide. As Frederick B. says, and I quote, "The lives we touch, for good or for ill, will go on to touch other lives." And if you think about the story of Promet, there are many other starfish out there who are fully capable of swimming. All they need is a leg up, a hand up, back into the sea for them to realize their true potential. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is true. It takes a village to raise a child. And it takes the same village to destroy a child. Because when that young lady goes on to become a medical doctor, you and I stand to benefit. But equally so, ladies and gentlemen, when that young man, out of hopelessness, out of desperation for opportunity, out of needing a chance to be included in the economy, resorts to becoming a criminal, you and I stand to be affected. So as you leave here tonight, always remember, the lives we touch, for good or for ill, will go on to touch another life. And with that, I wish you a Merry Christmas in July. Thank you very much.